Well, hey, y'all. Welcome to Tuesday Leadership Tips with Lita. I hope you all are doing well and that you had a pretty good day so far. If you're coming in, go ahead and jump in the chat and let me know how you're doing. Let me know how y'all doing out there today. I'm excited about our topic. We are continuing in the same vein of talking about what we're doing with our legacy. So come on in, y'all. Welcome on YouTube. Welcome on IG. Welcome on TikTok. I am happy you all are here and coming in. Give you about another 60 seconds and we're going to jump in. All right. So, again, welcome to Tuesday Leadership Tips with Lita. Our our leadership tip for today is release that legacy that you're building. Release the legacy you are building. This is so important because when you are a leader and you are leading folks, at some point, you're going to have to stop holding on and start sending them forward. I believe it was T.D. Jakes, Bishop T.D. Jakes said it like this years ago, and it never left my mind. But he said, good leaders, great leaders work themselves out of a job. So eventually, we're going to have to release this legacy that we're building, and we're talking about it today. Let's jump in. So we have talked about and we've discussed building your legacy. We talked about endurance while you're building it. We talked about stewarding that legacy. We talked about last time multiplying the impact by developing other people. So this week, if we've done all of that, it's time for us now to release some people to go and do what it is that you have poured into them, trained them, and developed them to do. The real question is here, can you release what you developed? Can you release what you have developed? I saw this a lot just in years of being in the same organization that many leaders know how to build. We know how to build. We're not lacking in that area. We know how to teach. We know how to teach. But few know how to let others lead. We got to step back sometimes. Legacy reaches its highest expression when the people that we have invested in, the people that we have developed, the people that we have trained and got them ready to do what they do, when they start making impact, the impact of their own, that's when our leadership has actually reached one of the highest expressions that we could have as leaders. When the people we lead start making their own impact. The greatest compliment, ladies and gentlemen, is not somebody telling us they need us. That's not the greatest compliment. I'll do you one better. I would love to hear people I lead say, you prepared me. I'm ready. I can do this. That's a high compliment right there. When they can look at you and say, you have prepared me. You have made me ready to do this thing. Sometimes the breakthrough in our leadership, in your leadership, it isn't what we accomplish. It's who we empower. Have you ever looked in one of the people that you lead, looked in their face when you finally said, "Hey, I'm giving this to you. I want you to lead this, take the lead on it." Now, I know sometimes they look scared, but at the same time, they start looking with pride, knowing that you have prepared them to do what you're asking them to lead. That's a good feeling, y'all. Sometimes the greatest contribution isn't us making another achievement. The greatest contribution would be another leader is being released to go do what we do. So, who are you preparing to lead without you? Who are you preparing to do what you do in your absence? If you stepped away tomorrow, who could confidently continue the mission that you started? Who can continue moving towards the vision that you have given? That's a really good feeling knowing that you can leave things in the hands of someone whom you have prepared to do it. You know they're capable because you trained them. You know that they're capable because you have poured into them everything they need to lead. That's a wonderful feeling. And so today, I just want us to kind of think about it, but then also develop that plan of how you're going to release some folk to do some stuff. And some of y'all need to release yourself to do something. You have studied, you've gotten your degrees, you have trained, you got your certifications, all these things you have gone and you have accomplished them. Now it's time for you to release yourself to go and do it. And sometimes that means you can't wait for approval. You can't sit back and wait to see who rejects you. You have to be bold enough, brave enough to say, I'm ready to do this. And in that same way that you release yourself, when, if you are not already, leading other people, training other people, developing other people, then you can do the same with them. You can release them. You can release them to move forward without you. And you can be confident that you have given them everything they need to lead. So, as we think about measuring our leadership, measuring our leadership in such a way that we need to know if it's going to continue with or without us. Sometimes unintentionally, we become the center of everything. I think I talked about it just a little bit last time. I don't want to be at the center of everything, every decision, every relationship, everything. I don't, that's not the type of legacy I want to leave. And sometimes unintentionally, we do become the center of everything, every decision, every solution, every approval. And the thing about that is it can become uh, intoxicating somewhat. It can become a thing where you see growth because the organization will grow. Eventually, it'll grow. But this is your litmus test. Is anybody else growing? Is the organization only growing because you're in the center of everything? Or are you preparing the people, developing them, growing them, so that while the organization is growing, so are the people? As a healthy leader, we must ask ourselves, and sometimes, we might not have the answer that we want to have to the question, but we need to ask ourselves, how can we become less necessary while the mission becomes more effective? And it doesn't mean that we are not needed. Because listen, if your leadership cannot be shared, it cannot be sustained. I said, if it cannot be shared, it cannot be sustained. Let me give you some reasons why we as leaders struggle to release others. And maybe this will help you see the picture more clearly. It will help you develop and prepare to release people in a more expedient way. But let me tell you why we struggle. Number one, we struggle because we fear losing value. Our value does not come from being needed. Hmm. I said it doesn't come from being needed. The reality is your value increases when others become stronger because of you. The second reason that we struggle sometimes to release others is because we fear losing control. I know about this one. We fear losing control. But this is the thing, right? Control builds dependence. Trust builds leaders. When we micromanage everything, we limit multiplication. But when we start empowering, we accelerate it. Control manages people, empowerment develops them. That's simple. If we can allow ourselves to forget about having control of everything, forget about being the center of everything, and allow ourselves to actually trust other people to do what we have prepared them to do, we can multiply by empowering them. We can multiply the acceleration. We can absolutely cause someone to step into the next level of their leadership because we've prepared them for it. Another reason we hesitate or we fail or just don't release others is because we fear that they won't do it like us. Listen, they won't, and that's okay. You're not trying to create copies. If you are, stop. You're developing capable leaders with their own strengths and perspectives. As long as you have guidelines of how you're going to operate, if you have guidelines about the operations of your business, of your company, how you're running things, it's okay to develop capable leaders who have their own strengths and have their own perspectives. Every individual has a different perspective, and that is okay if they don't do it like you. And there are some marks of leadership who multiply leaders. There is something very clear and very distinct about leaders who multiply other leaders. And if you don't get anything else today, I want you to get this. They trust more than they control. A leader who multiplies leaders must trust other leaders and relinquish control. Leaders who trust more than they control, they provide direction, not domination. Direction is way more important than you dominating. Another mark of a leader who multiplies leaders is they coach more than they correct. Don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that you're not correcting, but you coach in such a way that instead of asking questions like, why did you do that? You can ask, well, what did you learn? Because growth happens through conversation, not through correction. Growth happens through the conversation where two people can conversate and talk about why they did what they did and what they learned from it. Really good leaders who multiply other leaders, they coach more than they correct. Another thing we do is we celebrate others' success. I talked a little bit about this last time. Don't get jealous of the people who are replacing you, the people who are coming to do it without you. Secure leaders don't compete with the people they develop. We just don't do that. We celebrate them. Another leader's success, ladies and gentlemen, is evidence. It's evidence of the investment you made in them. It is evidence that you prepared them to do it. It is evidence that your leadership is effective because what you prepared them for multiply through them. Another mark is we keep growing. We haven't arrived. We keep growing ourselves. The best developers of people never stop developing themselves. And if we can develop ourselves, guess what? We are better prepared to develop who comes along next and even to help those who have come along, who we have released to get better as well. Because our leadership multiplication begins with continual personal growth. We don't want them just to get to where we are and stop, and that's plateau. No, we want them to continue to grow as well. That means we need to keep growing. We need to keep developing too. We need to keep reading too. We need to keep doing what we do so that we can better develop and prepare the leaders that are coming along aside us or that are coming along to do it without us. Our leadership should echo beyond our lifetime. Imagine that. Imagine you as a leader and whom you have encouraged is now multiplying by encouraging other people's. Who you have developed has now started developing other people. Whom you have transformed and used or have developed and transformed other organizations, those organizations will start developing other organizations. Who you developed changed the community, and now they're going on to change communities. Whom you have inspired, they're now going on to inspire other generations. Imagine that. That type of leader multiplies other leaders. That type of leader, their leadership echoes beyond our lifetime. Your influence will expand every time someone you've invested in invests in someone else. That's the good news. It's expanding. It's what we call legacy. That's how legacies become movements. Your influence, remember this, your influence has no expiration date when it lives in people. It has no expiration date. It continues to live on generation to generation, person to person, leader to leader. So talk to me, y'all. Tell me, in your leadership journey and tenure, what have you multiplied in someone else? What have you multiplied to the point now you can release? Whether you're releasing someone that you've been developing or whether you're ready to be released yourself. This is what I'm thinking right now as it relates to something I can actually challenge you with. If you are one who has been training, getting certifications, getting your education, doing all the things, what can you do this week so that you can release yourself to start doing what you've been prepared to do? And this is something definitely for those who are just starting their business and you're solopreneurs and you want to start doing. What can you do this week that can help launch what you are starting, that can help you to release yourself to go do it? I'm not even going to touch anything that would try to hinder you. We're going to eliminate fear. We're going to eliminate anything that we think would stop us. What can you do this week that's meaningful that can help release you? And then those of you who are already well into business, you have employees, give someone that you're leading a meaningful responsibility this week. Give them a responsibility. And then as they do what you're giving them the responsibility to do, coach instead of solving the problem for them. Ask them the right questions. And then find somebody to celebrate. Celebrate somebody else's leadership and listen, do it publicly. If you're a solopreneur, you can do this too. Celebrate something you did. If you go back on any of my platforms, you'll see when I first started doing TLT with Lita, I would celebrate. We made it through a month. We made it through this month or that month. And I would celebrate because I knew it was something that I was starting myself, but I was celebrating the fact that irrespective of how many, sessions we had, I was celebrating the fact that we made it through it and we did it. So find something to celebrate. Celebrate your leadership. Even if you're just leading yourself, celebrate something you did. Jump on a live and just celebrate yourself. Celebrate what you have done. Celebrate you took the step to start your business. Celebrate you took the leap into something that you've never done before. Celebrate you release somebody that's working for you to handle something that you no longer have to handle. And then if you're brave enough, share it. You can share it on your timeline. You can share it on in the comments on my IG page, but share it. Hashtag lead with Lita. Because listen, this is the thing about releasing what you're building, releasing the legacy that you have been building and working on. It's not so much about it being loud and proud. but it is about that you take the step and you don't sit on it. You don't let procrastination or imposter syndrome or fear hold you back. Just do it. Just do it. And your future self will thank you later that you took the step to release yourself, to release somebody you're leading and developing, and to allow whoever you release to move forward and do it without you. Remember, give them a meaningful responsibility. If it's just you, give yourself something to do that you haven't done yet, that if you do it, it'll make the difference in you starting what you're starting. And there is a thing where you can coach yourself through problems and through issues. I'm not saying that you can get to every level and you can do it without a coach, but there is some self-coaching that you can do. And coach yourself in such a way that you ask the right questions. And if you need to reach out or you need someone to advise you, then reach out and then celebrate it. If you release somebody, celebrate their leadership publicly. If it's you, celebrate you. It's starting with you anyway. Release the legacy that you are building. Do not be afraid. So I want to leave y'all with this closing thought today. Leadership isn't about proving how capable you are. I know a lot of times we get caught in that and we want to feel like we got to prove to everybody else how capable we are. But it's more so about developing others until they become capable too. Don't measure success by how much you accomplish. Measure it by how many people are stronger, wiser, and more confident because they encountered your leadership. Build, steward, multiply. Now release. Because the leadership and the leaders that you empower today, even if it's just you, I don't want anybody who's saying, oh, it's just me, even if it's just you, and you empower you to do something. When you do it today, it will become the legacy that carries your impact tomorrow. And that's how leadership becomes more than just influence. This is how it becomes a movement. And that's what's happening when we release the legacy that we're building. So, what are your questions, your comments? Jump in the chat. If this is making sense to you, whatever you have received at this time, then share it. Jump in the chat. Let us know. Let us know. Well, I certainly appreciate you all joining us for this live. I want to ask you to do one thing, and I think I do this just about every time, but share this with another leader. Share this with someone who needs this conversation about releasing the legacy that you're building. This conversation about empowering others is explosive if you use it. It's explosive if you allow yourself to not need all the control, to develop someone, and then let what you have put in them be multiplied by them giving it to others. All right, y'all. If we don't have any If you don't have any comments, I'm looking down the chat to see if there's anything. All right, y'all. Well, again, thank you for joining us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I look forward to the next time. But listen, by way of announcements, quickly before I jump off, in August, we are doing the first and the second Tuesday. The first and the second Tuesday. Instead of the second and the fourth, it'll be the first Tuesday. So we're going to see each other next week. It'll be the first and the second Tuesday, and I'm looking forward to it. Let's keep growing together. All right, y'all. Again, thank you for joining us. This is Tuesday Leadership Tips with Lita. Until next time, peace.